I haven't, we went to, this is.
Yeah, so just in case you have any other ideas?
I'd like to call to order the Munster Town Council regular meeting on November 17th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Wendy, please call the roll.
Counselor Hopper.
Here.
Counselor Gardner.
Present.
Counselor Nellens.
Here.
Counselor Peterson.
Here.
Counselor Schinkin.
Here, let's all start with a moment of silence for our loved ones, followed by the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Want to thank everybody for coming to this Mr. Gordon's government class.
Yes, sir.
Who's going to give us a speech today on what you learned? Nobody? Okay. So we're going to start off with public hearing, additional appropriations, ordinance 1998.
So council held first reading on this ordinance at the last regular meeting. Tonight's the required public hearing. There are two funds that we're seeking additional appropriations for. One is the Cumulative Capital Development Fund, and this is to pay for the true up on the Axon body camera contract. And the other is for the water bond and interest fund. This is so that we can make the first debt service payment that's due in December. The funds for this come from, as far as the water bond and interest, those come from from the water cash operating revenues of the waters department. And the cumulative capital development, that's coming from cash that we have on hand. So we're asking to hold a public hearing and then under old business, adopt the ordinance.
Okay. So we're going to open up for a public hearing. This is on ordinance 1998, the additional appropriations. Going once, going twice. We're going to close the public hearing. And then I need a motion.
Not
Not right now, that's right. Okay, now we're going into public comment. All public comment is limited to 2 minutes per person, with a total of 20 minutes allotted. For the public comment section, all speakers must sign into the public speaker sign-in form prior to speaking. Please keep all comments civil, constructive, and related to public policy issues. At their discretion, council may allow public comment to extend past 20 minutes, but not required to do so. All rules for public comment are posted outside the main meeting room. With that, opening the public comment.
I'll start it off.
Thank you.
Hopefully it's on.
It is. I didn't turn it on while I was over there. Oh, there we go. You're good.
I'm good? Okay. Mike Yumovic, 1833 Tulip Lane. Question, I saw in the Times about the new coffee house that's supposedly gonna go up on, where the old Boston Market was. Question is, okay, the entrance and exit for it are off of Calumet Avenue. And you've got the stoplight at Broadmoor. I know it's not gonna happen all the time, but how are they gonna handle like overflow traffic backing up onto Calumet Avenue? Because that's a busy road. Sort of like the problem you have sometimes at Dairy Queen in the summer.
So that's going up from the plan commission tomorrow, if you want to show up tomorrow.
I wish I could, but I can't.
Well, I'll contact you afterwards.
Okay.
Let you know everything.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Tom Jurich, 1839 Magnolia. I was here last week, or pardon me, last meeting, when the salary issue was brought up. Council considered not accepting the raise. There was not a second on the motion. I left disappointed. I thought it would at least be considered a little bit more. I stewed on it a little bit and I watched the agenda review meeting. Now I'm a little bit more than upset. I highly recommend everyone watch that review meeting for the comments that were made about the raise acceptance. I will summarize by one comment that was made, that it's insignificant to raise and that is symbolic. Do you guys realize that you're the symbol of leadership of this town? What you do speaks to the citizens of this town, taxpayers of the state, the county, the town. It speaks to the employees of the town. The employee has no say about their 2%. They're gonna get it. You guys do. I will bet all the money in my pocket that none of you guys rely on this job for your primary source of income. Yet, you're gonna take a 2% raise when is financial uncertainty going on to the tune of 800,000 to 1 million perhaps. But I guess you guys don't know the number yet. I hope you guys will reconsider this. You're right. The amount's insignificant. However, what you're saying to the town, to the voters of both parties, is this is what we believe about what we should do about the money of this town. Thanks for listening to me and please reconsider.
Anybody else for public comment? Going once? Going twice? Closing public comment? Consent agenda, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. President, I would like to pull the minutes out.
We are on the consent agenda right now, so yes,
It's part of the consent agenda.
okay.
I'll go ahead. I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion, we have a second,
I'll second that motion.
we have a second. Now, do we have discussion?
I'd like to pull the minutes out
Mhm.
from the consent agenda and address those separately.
Yeah, so when a member of the council is uncomfortable with any item on the consent agenda, they have the right to have those pulled
Okay,
and voted on separately.
okay,
So this vote would be for the consent agenda without the minutes, and then you would take the minutes up right afterward.
okay, so we need to make another motion.
No, I mean, Mr. Peterson is correct. If he wants to pull an item from the consent agenda, it's as a matter of course, pulled.
Okay, so.
And
we're
then
gonna
that
go
item will be
item by
taken up.
item, correct?
No,
No,
we're just gonna do the rest of the consent agenda.
Okay.
with the
You'd be-
times that went on.
you'd be
Okay.
voting on the consent agenda without the minutes. And then your next item would be to take the minutes.
Okay.
I do have a comment with regard to the consent agenda.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bill that's paid that is flowers for a past employee. And I was not aware that the past employee passed away, but Kenny Ray was a fantastic employee for the town of Munster many years ago. The golf course, he worked on the landfill, and with him, Rodney Peets, and Potts, and a couple other people just ran that landfill unbelievably. Kenny's was an unbelievable machinist, or worked the track for like nobody's business. The golf course that you see out there was done with in-house labor, and Kenny Ray was one of the people that really built that golf course. And I just want to make special note that Kenny was a fantastic person, a wonderful employee, and really what makes the town of Munster who they are with the type of employees that we do have. So I just want to make sure that Kenny got special recognition tonight, and may he rest in peace.
So we are doing a,
So roll call vote
yeah,
to approve the consent agenda
without.
without the minutes.
Would you please call?
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes.
Now you would take the item of the minutes.
I guess I'd like to take a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. President, I would ask that we amend the minutes to reflect my motion that
Oh, yes, I probably did, sorry. I can see the-
in ordinance 2000, the 2026 salary and pay plan, as Mr. George pointed out, I made a motion for the council not to take the 2% raise, and it did not receive a second. I would ask that the minutes be amended to reflect that.
I will make that motion to amend the minutes,
Well,
or no,
is he, Mr. Peterson, are you moving to amend the motion to approve the minutes?
Well, they beat me to it. So I would ask that the motion to approve be withdrawn. And then we
Yeah,
agree to amend the minutes and then we move the amended minutes for passage.
I will withdraw my motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Who had the second, Joe?
Joe,
So Mr. Hopperth would have to remove his second as well.
remove my second as well.
Now,
make the
you-
motion.
Now, I would move to pass the minutes amended to reflect the fact that I made a motion to council not to take the 2% raise, and it died for lack of a second.
I'll second that amended motion.
Any discussion? That being said, Wendy, please call.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes, that brings us up to old business, and this is ordinance 1998, additional appropriations.
So this is the ordinance that you had the public hearing on earlier this evening. You're asked to approve the ordinance as it's presented.
I'll make a motion to approve introduced ordinance 1998 as presented.
We have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second that motion.
We have a second. Do we have discussion over this? That being said, Wendy, please call the vote.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes, that brings us up to ordinance 2000, the 2026 salary ordinance.
So council held first reading on this ordinance at the last regular meeting. There were no changes made to the ordinance from your first reading. We're asking that you adopt the ordinance now on the second reading. This allows for a 2% cost of living increase. It also sets the statutorily required certified pension rate. And it continues the benefits for our employees going into the new year as well.
Okay, thank you. I need a motion to approve.
Mr. President, I make a motion, we adopt ordinance 2000 on second reading as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have a second. Do we have discussion?
Mr. President,
Mhm.
I, last council meeting, suggested that the council suspend the 2% raise. And this evening, we heard a comment from one of our residents, and I think the comment was well taken. I don't believe any of us ran to be on this council for the salary. I think we ran because we love our town, we want to do what's best for our town. We are all facing a substantial fiscal uncertainty. Senate Bill 1, which was passed by the state legislature earlier this year, has created hardships for every municipal taxing entity, both town and school. We are facing a significant shortfall, and I've heard discussions anywhere from $800,000 to $3 million. As part of our continued efforts to wrestle with this, we have discussed the need for cost cutting. And that's going to impact both our departments and our employees. And I think there's no better showing of our commitment and our leadership than for this council to collectively demonstrate that leadership by waiving our salaries for next year. We collectively receive salaries when you total it just under $80,000. And as we've discussed many times, the way we're going to balance this budget is through these small steps. And I think by us showing leadership in this score and all of us agreeing that next year we're going to make a commitment to balance the budget, we demonstrate that leadership. So I'm going to move to amend ordinance 2000, and the amendment will be to waive the salaries for all town councilors for the year 2026.
Do we have a second? Without a second, that motion is killed. We have discussion?
I think the best way that this council can show leadership in this situation is by working with our staff, reviewing the information that they give us. One of the examples is the 90 some options that they asked us to give us feedback on earlier this year, in which many of the counselors did not provide any feedback. I think that's the most important way that we can show leadership in this council and to our staff is by answering their questions and working together with them. And I stand that I made that commitment 6 months ago, 8 months ago, when we found out about Senate Bill 1. And I stand by that commitment now, that whenever the staff wants to work with us, talk with us, give us options that we need to consider, you always get my answer. And I will work with the staff to get this thing situated. And I think that's the best way that we can show leadership as a town council.
Now, can we as a council deny our paychecks? If this is passed?
You want to deny the whole paycheck?
No, well, our salary. I'm just asking, could we go one by one? He's asking for all of us. Could one person just say, I don't want my salary?
Yeah, there's a-
Okay.
It can be completed.
There is a form. So whatever counselor up here wants to not receive a salary, there is a form.
Mr. Schinkin, I do want to respond to that. This is not, this is a gesture of leadership. And the only way that this is going to be meaningful is if the entire council decides to provide that type of leadership. Now, if waiving the entire salary next year is something that's not palatable, I'm open to compromise. Let's pick a number. But let's demonstrate that we are committed to cost savings. So waive it all, waive some of it, but if the council collectively is not prepared to show that leadership, then this is not a situation where one counselor waives the salary and the rest quietly accept theirs. That's not leadership.
That is leadership.
I am proposing that we all do this. What you're proposing is, and for the young folks, it's like the old game show, Let's Make a Deal with Monty Hall. You're proposing that Counselor Peterson, there's door number 4 for you. You can waive your salary and the rest of us will take ours. That's not leadership. So what I am suggesting is we either collectively waive it all, waive some, or we just agree that we're not going to do it. And that's the message that's being sent. So I pass it back to you. What do you choose?
Leadership is working with our department heads and working with the residents. We are all here. We are public servants. We are not politicians. We're not running right now for our seat in 27. We are here running for the town right now and for the residents. None of us are thinking about reelection until 27. So what we do now is leadership, working with the town. Any other comments? With that, Wendy, please call the vote.
Counselor Hopper,
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Vote to give the employees their
It's
raises.
a yes or no.
I will not be interrupted. I will vote to give the employees their raises they deserve. I vote yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes. That brings us up to new business, ordinance 2002, stop signs, white oak.
We're looking to install permanent stop signs in White Oak Estate at Somerset Drive, Winfield Drive, Somerset Drive, Cherrywood Lane, Burlwood Drive, and Cherrywood. Portable stop signs were placed at these intersections. Data has been collected from each location. After review from staff and town's engineering firm, SEH, has been determined that the installation of these stop signs is best management practice for the town in achieving its goal to assist with traffic and for the safety of the residents. Recommendation is here ordinance 2002 as presented and schedule second reading for December 15, 2025 regular meeting for placement and enforcement of 3 permanent stop signs in White Oak Estates at the intersections of Somerset Drive, Winfield Drive, Somerset Drive, Cherrywood Lane, Burlwood Drive, and Cherrywood.
I need a motion. We'd like to make that.
I'll make that motion here, ordinance 2002 as presented and schedule second reading for the next regularly scheduled meeting for placement and enforcement of these 3 new permanent stop signs in White Oak Estates at the intersections of Somerset Drive and at Winfield Drive, Somerset Drive at Cherrywood Lane, and Burlwood Drive at Cherry Lane.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Mr. President, I'll second that.
We have a second. Do we have discussion?
My comments are similar to comments that I made in the past with regards to stop signs. I do appreciate the town working to get data and collecting the data. However, I am concerned that much of this data was collected during a temporary detour of 45th. And that the numbers that we received was during a temporary situation, and now we're making these stop signs permanent. And I think that's that's the same thing we did on Camellia, and I would be concerned in the future that we don't take this type of data through when we have temporary detours, shifting more cars to these spots. Also, I would want to make sure that we are still following the Indiana manual on uniform traffic control devices. There is much talk in the manual about four-way stop signs that stop signs should have equal traffic on both sides of the stop sign. And I know in some of these situations, we probably don't have close equal amounts. I am also concerned that these spots are locations that we haven't had any accidents by our own data in the last 5 years. And I would caution the residents that stop signs, while they do slow down traffic within a block of the stop sign, that's where we collect the data. Stop signs do not slow traffic down outside of that area. In fact, the more stop signs we have, the studies have shown that drivers start perceiving that there's no need to stop, and there's a lot more roll-through traffic through stop signs. So I would caution that the more we request stop signs, the more we review stop signs, we do take a closer look at the manual and make sure that we are doing the things that we don't create more issues in the future with people rolling through stop signs or just plain ignoring stop signs. And that we also take the data when it's permanent data, not temporary data.
Thank you. Any other comments? That being said, Wendy, please call the vote.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes, that brings us up to the postage lease renewal.
Town has a postage meter, a machine that we run all our letters and things through. And we've come to the end of the 5-year lease on that, and we're looking to enter into a new lease. Under the terms of it, we will get a new equipment for it. The price will be $1,233.08 every quarter, over a 63-month period of the length of the contract. There's a new vendor who will be helping us with the day-to-day, the service. We had been through Pulse Technology, and they sold off this portion of their business. So we are looking for council to approve entering into a new lease agreement for new postal equipment and meter.
Thank you very much. Could I have that motion, please?
I'll make a motion to authorize the leasing of a Quadient postage meter system for a period of 63 months at a lease cost of $1,233.08 per quarter.
A motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that
We
motion.
have a second. Do we have discussion over this? That being said, Wendy, please call the vote.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes, that brings us up to our last new business, the LITD expenditure plan.
So the town has two different LIT funds, LIT meaning local income tax. There's the one for public safety, and then there's one for economic development. The economic development one is the one that we're talking about this evening. There is a requirement under the law that each year we submit a report plan of how we anticipate spending these dollars in the next year. That's what this document is that you're being asked to approve tonight. There's 34% is an annual allocation that has to be set aside for the Westlake corridor. That money comes off the top. The town never receives that money. Then the other anticipated uses are the construction inspection for the Bridges Over Ditches project. Professional services for both the zoning code rollback, support for community development. We're also using the Main Street design, that engineering work is coming from there, and some Westlake Extension betterments. And then the Centennial Park electrical redistribution, this is for the clubhouse. Before that can be taken down, we have to redistribute all the electricity, all that work that's going on. All that goes there, we need to redistribute that.
Thank you very much. Could I have a motion?
I'll make that motion. By motion and roll call vote, approve the 2026 LIT capital expenditure plan as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have discussion? That being said, would you please call the vote?
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes. Reports. Wendy, anything?
I just wanted to remind the, everybody that the agenda review, the next agenda review is already been noticed at the end of last year, but it will be on Monday, November 24th for the December 1st town council meeting. The December 1st town council meeting, immediately preceding it, we will be lighting the trees and decorations out front of town halls at 6 o'clock. And and so that's what's happening there. Tomorrow, Counselor Gardner and I are taking over for Counselor Nellens, and we'll be on WJLE discussing the Munster Civic Foundation, the electrical box program, etc., as well as the Light the Night and some extra things that we're doing there.
Boxes look nice.
So they do look nice. So we'll talk about that. So that's what I have.
Jeff, you want to talk about public council on?
Yeah, a couple things, couple meetings coming up. Tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. is the Munster Park Board meeting. That's here at the town hall. Tomorrow evening is the BZA, and also Plan Commission will be meeting tomorrow night. And then on Wednesday, November 19th, there'll be coffee with the council. It's mainly a chance for people that are interested in being on boards and commissions, or finding out more what the different boards and commissions do in the town of Munster. That'll be a meeting presentation. The council will be here Wednesday night, the 19th at 6 p.m. to answer or give a short presentation, answer any of the questions that people would have with regards to serving on boards and commissions. And that is boards and commissions like the Plan Commission, the BZA, Board of Safety, Park Board, Munster Civic Foundation, and various boards like that.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Any portfolio reports? Announcements, all town council meetings will begin at 6:30 unless otherwise noted. Our next town council meeting will be December 1st, 2025. Have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We got a short little 5-minute meeting on the redevelopment. Yes, how you doing?
I am sorry, but I did omit that tomorrow morning, I believe it's 7 o'clock in the morning is the Board of Safety meeting also. So I apologize for skipping over that meeting.
We got going as a problem. With that being said, we have the Redevelopment Commission meeting, 11/17/2025 at 6:59 p.m. Wendy, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hopper.
Here.
Commissioner Gardner.
Present.
Commissioner Nellens.
Present.
Commissioner Peterson.
Here.
Commissioner Schinkin.
Here.
And our school board liaison, Mr. John Castro.
Here I am. Good to see you all.
Hey, you
Nice to see
too.
As well.
We're gonna have public comment, and this is for Redevelopment Commission only. All public comment is limited to 2 minutes per person, with a total of 20 minutes allotted for the public comment section. All speakers must sign into the public speaker sign-in form prior to speak. Please keep all comments civil, constructive, and related to public policy issues. At their discretion, the commission may allow public comment to extend past 20 minutes, but not required to do so. All rules for public comment are posted outside the main meeting room. And with that, I open up public comment. Going once, going twice.
Is this for like bringing in new businesses or what's the redevelopment encompass?
Today we're talking about TIF spending.
Oh.
Yeah, you can make a comment about bringing in new businesses.
Oh,
Yeah, come on, join.
yeah, my wife and I have desperately wanted to see Trader Joe's hit Munster.
You know what?
We lost Whole Foods, right?
Well, Cherville lost Trader Joe's.
Oh, what?
I'll talk to you.
Yes, yeah, right.
Okay, with that, we're gonna close public comment. Consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Oh, who seconded?
Nobody yet.
I second.
Joe, any discussion over this? With that, Wendy, please call the vote.
Commissioner Hopper.
Yes.
Commissioner Gardner.
Yes.
Commissioner Nellens.
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson.
Yes.
Commissioner Shaken.
Yes, we have no old business, but Mr. Castro, we have new business for you.
All right.
So the TIF spending plan.
So this is one of the newer requirements that units have. This is just the second year that we've had to do this, where a TIF spending plan has to be prepared and then uploaded onto Gateway. The format, there's nothing in the statute that tells us what is supposed to be included in this. We follow the same format that Barnes and Thornburg had developed the template last year, and so that's what we're using. The things that are on it are being listed at the maximum amount that we would anticipate them being spent. This is not the budget and what we're actually planning to spend. I say that with the exception of the debt payments. We will make those debt payments as we are required to do. So that's the first item on the plan. The second item is primarily the Ridge Road project. This would incorporate, if they're assuming that the project moves forward, with design work that would need to be done. Professional expenses, we have some legal and accounting expenses that would come from the fund. Expenditures related to public safety. This would be the number that you see here anticipates the worst with SEA 1. And that we would need to be basically underwriting a large portion of police salaries from that. We expect it to be actually more around 1.2 million, which is the same as what it was this year, and that covers a small portion of salaries, plus the vehicles that need to be replaced and equipping them, those squad cars. Other things that we anticipate coming from the fund are, there's a refund that sometimes is made. People will ask for an appeal their property taxes, and then a refund is given to them. That comes off the top, and we don't have a good way to budget that. The number that we see there is in keeping with what we've had in the past. And then potential land acquisition, that's the other item on there. The Redevelopment Commission is asked to approve this, and then it will be sent to Gateway, uploaded into Gateway as required under the law.
And this is a working form, it could change, correct?
I'm sorry?
It could change, it's like a working document where numbers may change.
Absolutely.
Okay.
With the exception of debt, yes.
Mr. President or Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to approve the 2026 annual spending plan of the Munster Redevelopment Commission as presented.
Do we have a motion? We have a second?
I'll second that
We have
motion.
a second. Do we have discussion?
President, I am deeply uncomfortable with this document. As you pointed out in the questions, Mr. Abbott, this is a working form. But this is a form that lays out possibilities. And to some extent, the numbers that are being laid out here represent, in some perspective, a blank check. I don't like issuing blank checks. The $7.1 million that's being allocated for police salaries, I don't like that number being there. I think if Ms. Abbott said, and I thought I heard her say it's 1.5 million, we should amend this and say that. If land acquisitions, right now I'm aware that we have a land acquisition contemplated for the Athens PETA on Ridge Road. There's been serious conversations by council about if we do further land acquisitions. I don't believe that we're in a position here. So to the extent that we are saying that we're going to draw down these types of money from the TIF account, the TIF account is the town's savings account. It exists for things like underpasses and bridges and building new fire stations and building new police stations. And we received a few months ago what I found to be a spooky report that was provided to us by the treasurer's office saying that if we spend money at this pace, we will exhaust the TIF account in 5 years. I think we need to circle back to what Ms. Abbott said, which is SEA1 is a serious concern. And the way we address that is through cost cutting. I do not believe that we should pass a TIF spending plan with these types of numbers when we don't necessarily need to have these numbers here. If we need to revisit it, that's something we can have in a conversation. But my experience with laying out numbers like that is that the way organizations operate, they operate to fill the environment that they're committed to fill. And I think that we should amend this to reflect that. So I would either move to table this so that we could adjust this document, or I would move to amend line D there to be 1.5 million and line E to be no more than 500,000.
Mr. Peterson, what are you
I'm gonna
making
move-
a motion to do? What you can't, I don't think you can have two motions in the
Okay.
same.
So I have a question for Ms. Abbott. If we don't pass
Yeah,
this-
we're still in just.
if we don't pass this tonight, does that prejudice any deadlines that we have?
The deadline to submit this to DLGF is December 1st.
Okay, so we do have to get something approved tonight.
That would be preferable.
All right, I'm gonna move to amend the document that's before us so that line D is 1.5 million and line E for land acquisition is no more than 500,000.
We have a motion. We have a second?
I'd like to ask a
Well,
question.
you can't yet until after a second.
I'll second the motion.
Okay,
Okay,
I'd like to ask a question with respect to adjusting those two figures, line D and E. What's the repercussion? Does it really? What's the repercussion?
So if that was what the redevelopment commission voted to do, we would change that document. It would get submitted to Gateway that way. And then next year, if we needed those other things, we would have to come back to the redevelopment commission, amend the plan and upload a new plan, basically report it back to DLGF that the commission had decided to change the plan.
If my memory is correct, I mean, that's exactly what was discussed and presented to us in the agenda review, that these numbers were not inflated, but maxed to where we had that safety net so that we didn't have to redo that. That's the whole idea of why we're doing this. And it's kind of like, with, not to, give an example, but to give an example, like with medical billing, I mean, you're gonna ask for the moon and you're gonna settle for what they're gonna give you. And with this, we're setting ourselves up for, if we need to do a pivot or we need some more money, we're set without having to go back and redo the work and delay everything. Correct.
Correct, and the real constraint on the town is what is actually in the adopted budget. This is separate from the adopted budget. This does not change the adopted budget. So if there was a desire to change what we were doing, we would probably have to go through an additional appropriation process. We would be coming back to the council in that instance. I don't want to say that this plan is meaningless. It's a new requirement that we have to have. We presented, it hasn't really been tested yet, I would say, in terms of other communities, at least not to my knowledge. But if the commission decides we want to pass the motion that Commissioner Peterson had, we would change the document and then we would just come back to you if there was a need to, if the commission wanted to do something different.
I just want to clarify and make sure I understand this. At this point in time, the only organization, the only administration of this plan comes from the redevelopment commission.
This is a plan of the redevelopment commission. Yes.
Correct, but we don't have to petition the state at this point or any other agency.
We report to the state. We tell the state, this is what the commission voted for. This is what the commission approved. But the commission doesn't, or the state doesn't then come back to the town and say, yes, no. If they don't do that, this is really just, here's this plan, here's the report. There isn't something after that from the state's level.
As opposed to when we do the budget, that is reviewed by downstate.
Correct.
And they may or may not accept the numbers that we submit.
Correct. This does not go through a process like that.
Mr. Westland, didn't you explain to us earlier about TIF? We gotta use it or we lose it. I mean, you have.
Yeah, we
you
talked
can't
about
hold
that.
on to it and bank it.
We did talk about that. But I think this is something different. This is just a plan and it's required.
Exactly, but the money, banking it for future use for an underpass. I mean, that could be 10 to 20 years from now.
I don't think the idea is that you bank the money for doing that.
Exactly. Thank you.
My concern is, and maybe this is, you've already answered this with Mr. Nowlan's question, is this doesn't affect our appropriations or our ask from the state at all.
Correct.
We're still, no matter what the numbers are in here, what we're gonna get from the state is a different budget. And we're not gonna, decreasing these numbers is not gonna affect our total revenue from the state at all.
Correct.
Okay. Then my next clarification would be, for police and fire services, I think the amended motion is 1.5 million. Was it anticipated to be 1.6 million?
What was if we follow what we did in 2025, it was 600,000 for vehicles and equipment and 600,000 to support salaries.
Okay, so 1.5 would be certainly higher than what we did last year at 1.2 million.
Yes.
Okay, and then under E, the other anticipated expenditures would be $500,000. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, actually, can I jump in here, Mr. Clerk?
I'm just gonna
I
clarify.
wanted to. The goal here is not to throw numbers on a dartboard. The goal is actually to pick the numbers that the staff reasonably and realistically believes they're gonna be. Ms. Abbott, maybe I misheard. You said that you're anticipating how much next year out of TIF for the police?
A total of 1.2 million.
Okay.
6 for vehicles, 6 salaries.
All right, so, and the Athens PETA acquisition is how much again? 450,000?
410.
410, okay. My goal here, and I did it hastily, was to reflect the numbers that I am aware of. And because that's what's in front of us, so I would actually, I'd ask Mr. Nellens to withdraw a second, and I'd like to make the motion again to reflect the actual numbers, which are 1.2 for police and fire salaries, and 410 for the Athens PETA.
If you're gonna do that, I would just ask on the land acquisition that we go to 450 because you have environmental that we need to do. You have other costs other than just the purchase price.
Fine, 450. So, Mr. Nellens, would you agree to?
I'll withdraw my motion.
I'll make the motion to amend the proposal, amend line D to be, Ms. Abbott, 1.2 million.
Yes.
And based on what Mr. Westman said, line E for land acquisition, 450,000. That's the motion to amend.
We have a new motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion for discussion.
We have a second. Do we have discussion over this?
Now, I'm just asking to clarify, if we need to go higher than the salaries, if Senate Bill 1 is more drastic than what we are anticipating, this is easy enough to do that we're not gonna be missing payrolls or anything like that.
Correct.
To get these, or if there's another land acquisition out there, we can go through the same process and within a month or something, we can get this thing amended and move ahead with further economic development that we see fit.
Yes, it requires one meeting.
Okay.
I have a question with regards to, we're talking about police salaries and police expenses. Do we need to allocate any money for the fire department? And expenses, equipment, whatever, because I'm trying to wrap my head around how we go from 1.2 million, 6 million, 1.6 million to 7.1 million. As you know, as rounding up and giving a little bit of cushion.
In answer to your initial question, at this point, no, I don't think we need to be allocating specifically for fire. If that's what the commission and council would prefer to do, that we say that X amount is going towards each or the other, they both are funded from the general fund primarily. So if you're either one that is being assisted through the TIF fund, it has the same impact on the general fund. So that is not necessary at this point. As far as the different numbers, the police department requested 600,000 for vehicles and equipment for 2026. Staff had planned 600,000 to support police salaries. Where the 7.1 came in was during budget time, when we were talking about the impacts of SCA 1 and what kind of options did we have out there. One of the options that we have is to fund more of police salaries out of the TIF fund. And 6.5 was the estimated, 6.5 million was the estimated number to support, to take over the cost of all of the patrol division only in the police department. So if you take the 6.5 million, the maximum we would anticipate it could be, plus the 600 we already knew about in terms of what police needed for their vehicles, add those together, that's where the 7.1 came from.
Yeah.
So again, this plan is contemplating worst case scenario. But if we say instead 1.2, and if needed, we can absolutely come back and the commission can update the plan if they choose.
Thank you very much for explaining that. I may have missed it on the first because I wasn't putting it into a slot where it needed to make a difference, so.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Schengen, I know I'm not a voting member, but I am curious as to, this is a plan that's being put forth. What is the likelihood that these monies will have to be drawn upon at any point? I know it's a plan, I know it's a requirement by the state, and you have to do it. So, and to your point, you know, it's not quite like a budget, like this isn't, I hear the concerns in the room. But what was this reached into last year, and what's the likelihood that this would have to be monies that are utilized in 2026?
As far as what's the likelihood of these numbers, the debt numbers are the debt numbers.
Right,
That's what
absolutely.
that's what it is. The professional expenses, that's about what it was. In terms of what did we pull out of that fund this year for police, it's these two $600,000 numbers. And that's exactly what we anticipate for next year as well. The only reason we would tap into it more is if it really goes back to SCA 1.
Sure.
And if the town, if there is a drastic cut that the town is going to have to make, this is, I want to say this is about the only way we could address that in the moment. If it were a, $3-4 million hit we're being asked to take, that's when we would break.
Which is possible. That's the reason I'm asking, because as the school board is obviously dealing with the same type of scenarios, and how can we manage through the same regard?
Right. And we anticipate having a much clearer picture of what that might be come April when tax bills go out, and then we'll all know more.
Thank you.
Mr. Cassidy, you got to answer everything?
Yeah, thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the anticipated, what do I call it, revenue or income that comes in from the TIF districts, is approximately how much?
This year it's a little bit over $9 million. We know that SCA one has a separate provision that's gonna impact those two properties. So we are still working with 9 million. Normally, I would have expected that number to have gone up, just from growth. But we're sort of using 9 million, assuming it stays flat, to account for that potential impact of SCA one. But yeah, 9 million, I would think at least we'll get.
And the anticipated interest income of what's being banked is,
I think that, I don't know where it's at now. But last year when rates were so good, we brought in, wasn't it like $1 million, just in interest last year.
somewhere around.
Now rates aren't what they were, but that money sits in an investment. It's not sitting, hidden away under somebody's mattress.
Right.
It's earning more money.
So that puts us at approximately $10 million.
No.
Jim, Dave, is that what you're saying?
No. That the,
10 million.
that on the tip between the anticipated income from the tax collection and the anticipated interest on the money that we already have that's being invested could be approximately $10 million.
Yes, I think that's reasonable.
And we have a firm commitment of $4 million that has to be paid for the debt payments.
Yes.
So that leaves us, let's say, 4.5 million.
Okay.
So
Where are we going with?
where I'm going with this is that we do have income and interest coming, and that we're not just drawing out of the TIF collection, or that the TIF amount we have right now today, but we have income coming in that offsets the payments. We have approximately 4.5 million-ish. So that would, with the police expenditures at 1.2 and the Lake County distribution and all this other stuff, that there is some monies available to pay this. It's not like we're right up against it and we're gonna take everything out of the wallet and there's nothing left.
There is a consistent, reliable income to that fund. Yes.
All right, that answers my
So,
question.
one last thing I have. So I'm looking at this as just efficiency and preparedness, the numbers that are plugged in, so that if things were to go sideways with SCA one, we have it in place. We're talking 1.2, we're talking 450 for the building, that if something were to defer from that, obviously we're gonna get back together and say, hey, this is getting awful close to our number. We need to approve this, correct? And it's gonna be way easier because it's already there and it's done, right?
We would not have to come back to the commission to do this. You wouldn't have to approve it again. Yeah, if you did it that way.
Okay.
Either way works.
Any other discussion? That being said,
So that, just so we're
yes.
we're all on the same page, right? Like, so you have a motion to amend the original motion, which was Mr. Peterson's amendment to reduce, correct me if I get this wrong, but you were to reduce the item D from 7.1 to 1.5. 1.2. 1.2, and then item E under land acquisition from 1.5 million down to 450,000.
Correct.
So that's your first vote, is whether you're gonna approve the amendment.
Yeah, then we approve the,
And then you'll either approve the plan as amended or as originally proposed, depending on how this first vote goes. Clear as mud, I know.
with that being said, Wendy, we call the vote.
Commissioner Hopper,
No.
Commissioner Gardner,
Yes.
Commissioner Nellis,
No.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Schinkin.
No. So now we're going to, with the original motion, just to approve the whole plan.
As the original motion is approve the plan as proposed.
We already have
You have a motion and a second. You just need to call the roll.
Okay, with that, let's call a vote.
Commissioner Hopper.
Yes.
Commissioner Gardner,
Yes.
Commissioner Nellens,
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson,
No.
Commissioner Schinkin.
Yes. Passes. No new business, so reports, no reports, no announcements. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.
You guys need a picture, just come up here. If you guys want to stand here and I'll take pictures and the rest of the councilors can stand behind. You guys